It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us. Everybody was getting antsy in their seats. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers, so our teacher in the middle of class decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too. Adidas! The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers that this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got chills and goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher seemed panicked too. He ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room stopped, indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you!" At that moment, I started to fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door, and that's when one of the crying girls screamed, "No!" The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up!" 2 of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that the man was pounding at the door, but eventually he continued down the hallway, screaming like a mentally insane person until we could not hear him anymore. About 10 minutes later, though, it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker and explained the situation, which was surprising for him to do. He said that an apparently mentally unstable person had entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee the building screaming. Staff members weren't sure whether the man was armed or not. This was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was wide open to something like this happening. The staff had done a sweep of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't find him, so the dean instructed teachers to resume teaching but keep all doors locked and not allow any students to leave for any reason. The most disturbing part, however, was that one of the janitors working the night shift later found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back end of the school. According to rumors spread by my peers, a .44 Magnum was sticking out of his pocket. The janitor must have done something to wake him up, perhaps leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer arrived on the scene, the man was gone. My entire class, as far as I know, still has no idea if this man was ever found, but I like to think that right now he's being given the proper help that he needs.